Sunny, while listening to your comments, it's clear you are very unhappy with the team selection. But let me ask you, if you were in Virat Kohli's shoes, who are the players you would have played today then?
Pujara and Pandey, Pandey in particular. Now, he's been travelling with the team now to South Africa, to New Zealand, and not being picked. So how are you going to know whether he's got it or not? So by not picking him, you're either saying that, look, he doesn't fit in our scheme of things, and we don't agree with the national selection committee. The team management is saying, or the tour management team is saying that they're not agreeing with the selection committee, that we don't think that he's good enough to actually play in a playing 11. Or the other thing is that if you actually have players who are in the reserve, if they start doing well, if they do better than those who are regulars, then you are saying, no, we don't want our regulars to go because our regulars must stay. So what it does, in my opinion, is it breeds complacency, because all it tells the guys who are failing is that come what may, you're not going to be tossed. In fact, that is what has been happening for the last couple of years. The guys who are doing badly are being persisted with, and eventually, of course, they are going to do well. But how long? For how long are you going to have failures? That is the thing.
Right. Taking a cue from the point that you are making, should one conclude that favouritism exists in Indian cricket today?
Well, it's been there. It's been there for years. It's not just with this team. I mean, you have a look at the history of Indian cricket. It has always been there. It has always. It's not something which is new. It's always been there. There's a sense of comfort. Let me tell you. So I've been part of a team, and I know what it is. There's a sense of comfort with people who you know, people who you share a dressing room with, people who you go overseas and in different countries and different cultures and spend time over there. So there's just a sense of familiarity and a sense of comfort with them. Suddenly you have a couple of new players coming in and you don't know anything about them, and therefore you just have that, feeling of, are these guys going to fit in? Are these guys, going to create the same sort of sense of comfort? And so therefore, rather than giving them an opportunity and seeing whether they can do it, the tendency generally is no, just keep them out and let's persist with the guys who have been with us.
Right. I understand that favouritism that you're talking about right now is not just for this tournament, but for the past couple of years. But looking at the past couple of years, we've had two different captains now. Virat Kohli captaining here, the tournament that you're talking about, and then we had MS Dhoni captaining before that. So captains have changed. How can the favourites then remain the same?
Oh, of course. It doesn't have to be only the captain. It's the team management. It's the team management which is the one which has its own favourites, and which will then prevail upon the captain, to continue with a player or two.
Right. So as you're saying, captains having favourites is nothing new in Indian cricket. I remember you telling us how left-arm spinners didn't flourish under Sourav Ganguly because he played them so well. So keeping that logic in mind, maybe in the current scenario with Dhoni and Kohli, it could be the same thing. So there could be a cricketing logic in them playing who they do right now rather than favouritism.
No, what kind of cricketing logic is there when players who are not being consistent are all the time being given extended opportunities, while some are not being given an opportunity at all? Now have a look at Ishwar Pandey. He's been to South Africa, he's been to New Zealand. Now South Africa, we were in a situation where we had lost the series. When we came to the final match of the series, he wasn't given an opportunity. We came to New Zealand, we had lost the series. When we came to the final match of the series, so it wasn't as if the final match of the series was a do or die thing, that it was going to be the decider. You didn't give him an opportunity in those two. You come here now for the Asia Cup, and you haven't qualified for the final, and yet you do not give him a chance. So what does that tell you? When you are not giving a chance at all to a player, either it tells you that, in your view, that he's not good enough to be in the touring party, and therefore you're not going to pick him.
Right.
Or you're just going to say, no, let the guys who have been playing, let them play. Let us give them another chance to succeed. And once they do well, then you'll turn around and say, see, It was just a matter of being patient with them. But patient for what? You do well against Afghanistan, and you win a match against Afghanistan where these guys who have been inconsistent do well, and you turn around and say, look, it's a matter of patience. But when it matters, they're not scoring runs. They're not taking wickets when it matters against better opposition.
Right. Finally, Sunny, just to play the devil's advocate, it may be an inconsequential game, but the ignominy of losing to Afghanistan could be on their mind, and maybe that's why they didn't want to take any chances with new players.
Then don't play in the Asia Cup. Then do not play. If you're worried about Afghanistan, it's a shame. I don't think that is the case. But if anybody thinks that that you're going to be worried about Afghanistan, then really you shouldn't be even participating in this kind of these kind of tournaments. Just stay at home and play only at home then.